In the Xbox game, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom, speedrunners found that it was possible to skip certain sections. Repeatedly pausing the game made it lag on purpose. What bizarre strategy did one gamer find to make this glitch happen consistently? I'll read it again. In the Xbox game, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom, speedrunners found that it was possible to skip certain sections. Repeatedly pausing the game made it lag on purpose. What bizarre strategy did one gamer find to make this glitch happen consistently?
Ella, this is right up your alley as a fan of watching speedrunners. Does this
I think
give anything
the problem
to you?
is when we've had a speedrunning question before when we were on, and it was so not something I ever would have thought of because it was very practical.
Famously, yeah.
And as I said back then, I know nothing about video games, so I can follow that up with I know nothing about SpongeBob SquarePants, so I'm basically useless on this question.
Every speedrunning tactic is like a new lateral question where it's like, it's just an entirely, I can't say anymore, but I'm excited for y'all to guess at this.
What console did you say this was on? Did you?
Xbox.
Okay, so
The original Xbox, I believe.
pausing is the start button, and the strategy. It is a strategy to do with. Is it? I'm just going to ask. No, 'cause I want to know if it's a practical thing or not. Like, was their cat walking over their, controller, and that's how they realized it happened, or is this a strategy that they're using consistently, and they just have?
Because I do know there used to be those controllers you could buy that would repeatedly send button presses for you, so you didn't have to hammer the fire button. Like, I remember those for Nintendo 64, because a friend had one when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, if you just wanted to fire a lot, you could just hit the turbo button. But I don't think there was ever a turbo start button or anything like that.
Yeah, is it like gluing down the start button so it just repeatedly?
On the scale of turbo button to a cat stepped on my controller, it's actually more a cat stepped on my controller.
Okay.
This is a weird one.
Was this something that like one person in particular was doing, or was this something that this person was doing and then it became like like everybody then started doing it?
It's that sort of a thing.
You need to repeatedly quickly hit the start button then. You need to just keep bashing that as fast as possible during some sequence of the game.
I'll be honest, Tom, that's sort of the baseline strat for this. This was sort of something that made that work even more consistently, right?
I see.
Repeatedly pausing the game made it lag on purpose, but this allowed that to happen more consistently. And I will say, Tom, I think you will have some info on this because this is sort of a like hardware-y thing.
Okay.
So was it like if you did it at a specific point in the game, like during a cutscene or something like that, would it then make it lag more? Or is it like specifically in the gameplay itself?
It's more general purpose than that because like I think you can use this glitch in multiple places.
If you want something to lag more, then there's a few ways to do that. Like, this is just general computer stuff. You can put more stuff on screen. You can have more things for the computer to deal with. You could also do stuff in the background. Like, an Xbox is just a PC with some extra stuff grafted on, or less stuff grafted on one of those two things. So you could run...
Don't let the console people hear you.
You could run...
And Xbox is special, and it's better than PlayStation and computers.
You could run additional stuff in the background, or you could just, like, heat it up. Like, it's a computer.
Oh.
If it runs too hot, it will slow stuff down. So you could just put your Xbox on top of a heater and get it close to the maximum operating temperature so the chip throttles down, and that makes it lag more.
You're getting there, but it's dumber.
It's okay.
You deliberately scratch up the CD. So it's rubbish.
Ella, you're correct.
Oh,
you're 90% there.
Okay.
It's just a slight minor detail.
you can't easily have a scratch data disc. Like an audio CD can skip sometimes, or the laser will lose its focus, but it can usually come back.
Exactly.
But data, you'll lose a lot of stuff. But some old games used to work.
Right. So you can't just scratch it.
Some old games used to work that you had a different data and audio section. Like the data would load in and then it would just play the music off the disc. But that wouldn't cause that.
Would doing something really dumb like smearing it in Vaseline or something like that cause this issue? You know?
Caroline, you're basically, I'm not going to make you guys guess it. There is one specific person who is attributed to licking their disc to smudge
Oh my goodness!
Oh,
Come
But
on, man.
Tom, you're right on the money, because this isn't something that you can like permanently damage it like a vinyl record. This is something that you just have to like make it a little harder to read so that like maybe 50% of the time it doesn't read correctly. So yeah, like the way a lag glitch works is like if you lag the game enough, like if you make the game wait like 2 seconds, like the physics engine is going to be like, oh man, like 2 seconds have passed and I haven't like run anything. And so it'll try to like do like less good physics and less good math. And one of the theories is that when you were pausing the game, when you unpause the game, it would read the music from the disc. And so if you could make it harder to read, it would lag the game more consistently.
That's
There
so
is,
good.
I think,
Wow.
I mean, it's gross, but it's good.
that's a slogan, and I don't know what it's a slogan for.
I don't know, like Cheetos or something like a messy food or something. Well, I say that along with all great speedrunning stories, this is attributed to Swagmaster Doritos, I believe. The
Oh,
username.
fantastic. Oh, brilliant.
And I think they would use thumbprints in like a pattern became the more consistent way to do it besides
Right.
licking the disc.
Yeah.
And a lot of this info came from a great video from Shift on YouTube who talks about this speedrunning strat.
I know we're done with the question, but just quickly, normally when you start the time on a speed run, you start it from where it can be, you can lose time. So I would think that they would have to recall themselves putting the thumbprints on the disc, because technically
That
you can
counts as
lose time
time.
by doing that.
Oh, yeah.